And you don't tell me who I am. I know damn well who I am. And if what happened to me happened to you, you know you'd be the same way too. You know it. Any man would be.
Adam Hangman Page is one of All Elite Wrestling's most beloved characters, with some even going as far as calling him the main character of the company. And for good reason. Hangman for years has been instrumental in some of the biggest moments of the company, building not only a genuine connection with the fans, but became an inspiration and a symbol of hope for many. But down the line, something broke the cowboy, and he hasn't been the same since. So that begs the question, where did it all go wrong? Let me give you a bit of context. Hangman Page is built around one core theme: relatability. He was never the perfect wrestler. In fact, quite the opposite. When it mattered most, he lost big matches and let his insecurities get the better of him.
I can't keep being the least successful member of the elite. You know? No, it's true. It's always been true. You know it. Duh. You know it. You both know it. That's always how it's been. It's always how it's been. I've lost to Jericho. I've lost to Pac. That is always how it's been. I have been the least successful member of this group the entire time, and I can't do it anymore.
You can't do what anymore?
I can't do this. You can't, guys. I'm sorry, guys.
You can't do this.
We're still cool. I'm just gonna ride alone for a while. Okay, guys?
Because you're losing.
No,
hang on.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
So that's it.
No, yeah.
So that. you just.
What the hell? What the hell is that all about? Good God, huh? What's going on around here? This is supposed to be fun.
During his first chase for the World Championship, many times over we saw Hangman at his worst. We saw what happens when Hangman lets his flaws and emotions overpower him, leading him to make mistake after mistake, digging himself deeper in a lonely and miserable hole. He was a flawed wrestler in every sense of the word, but that's what made people love him. Hangman Page, even as a character, was human, which is rare in pro wrestling, and it was through this genuine and carefully built character that resonated so strongly with the audience.
I will give you my heart, I will give you my soul, I will give you every fiber of my being, I will give you my blood, I will give you my sweat, and one way or the other, I feel like I may give you my tears. The one thing, though, that I am 100% sure about is that at full gear, I will give you cowboy shit!
Hangman was so good at expressing these deep emotions, like the anxiety and fear to lose, the reliance on vices, deep feelings of self-doubt. All these things made Hangman so relatable and connect so closely with his fans because this story was so grounded and felt so real. And it was so vindicating to see in the end, Hangman finally win the World Championship. Not only did he become the face of the company, but in the process, he became an inspiration to many when he overcame his insecurities and personal demons. But the fairy tale couldn't last forever. Hangman had to eventually lose the world title, and when he did, he became complacent. Even without the title, the love and support he garnered from the fans ensured that he was still a featured star in All Elite Wrestling, getting featured in big matches and main eventing different kinds of shows. And while Hangman still delivered some great moments for the crowd, his continuous complacency eventually drew the ire of one Swerve Strickland.
Opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, you've been handed a silver platter. If I would have got the opportunities that you've gotten a year ago, I'd be the first black AEW world champion by now. So I'm gonna leave you with this. Option A. You ride off in the sunset like them cowboy movies you used to watch as a little baby. Go off in the sunset.
let that contract fizzle out right next to your career, whether it be in catering or whether it be on your house on the farm. I don't care where it is. It doesn't matter. Move out of the way and let me take that slot that you don't want. And I'll turn AEW into whose house? Or option B, you pony up, you man up, you cowboy up, you do whatever you have to do to find that little spirit inside of you, that fire. Get that motivation, get that confidence. Show me, show these people, show yourself what cowboy shit is all about.
Hangman has faced his demons before, and they almost cost him everything. But even after all that he's done to overcome them, nothing could prepare Hangman from Swerve's relentless ambition. And for better or for worse, Swerve brought out the best we've seen from Hangman in months, almost as if he took Swerve's threats seriously. And while both Hangman and Swerve stood equal in their in-ring skill and brutality, it was the opportunist in Swerve taking advantage of Prince Nana's distraction and secretly hit Hangman with a foreign object to secure the win, kickstarting a fiery and bitter feud between these two wrestlers. A feud that quickly escalated into a war. Hangman retaliated, costing Swerve a very important match, and not soon after, Swerve retaliated back. Both men continued to call for allies like the Young Bucks or the Mogul Embassy, and continued to cost each other wins and opportunities until Swerve had had enough and finally crossed the line, deciding to make things personal.
Remember I said that last week, it's not you that pays for your actions. I meant to say, it's your loved ones that do. You cost me title opportunities. You took something from me, so now you owe me a debt, Hangman. So since you're not here, is it gonna be Hangman Jr. does? Huh? You gonna give me my opportunities? You gonna owe me something? No. As a matter of fact, you will, just not today. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna leave this here as a reminder that you are forever indebted to me, and it's your father's fault. I'm never gonna forget that. Neither are you. Swerve's house.
Boss, we gotta go.
This made Hangman go ballistic, attacking Swerve at every opportunity he can. Wherever Swerve was, you can damn guarantee Hangman was gonna serve some cowboy shit. You never, ever mess with another man's family. And as this war escalated, so did their second encounter, which is now stipulated as a Texas death match. Swerve made this war personal. He unnecessarily raised the stakes, and whatever hell Hangman unleashed on him was all his fault. He already had Hangman's attention, and there was no reason at all to break into his house and threaten his infant child just to send a message. And as this feud, hell as this match got bloody, I think it's just fair to say, Hangman is rightfully justified to pummel Swerve into a pulp, not just for himself, but also for his family. But Swerve, ever the opportunist, was just barely able to survive, and narrowly slipped away with the win, denying the Hangman his justice. Turnaround was fair play in this war. Just as Swerve denied Hangman his justice at Full Gear, Hangman spent the following months denying Swerve his destiny, the AEW World Championship. Hangman, being a former champion himself, held that title with high reverence, and doesn't believe a man like Swerve is ever worthy to hold that title. So during the Revolution 2024 title match, Hangman did everything he could to make sure Swerve doesn't leave with the championship. And while usually the first priority would be to win the match and the title that comes with it, to Hangman, the first and only priority is to take away the one thing Swerve holds dearly, his destiny as world champion. And it was in this match we started to see Hangman finally go too far, as he started taking out and attacking referees just to deny Swerve the win, and ultimately sacrificed himself and the match to sabotage Destiny. But actions have consequences, and Hangman was suspended on the grounds of attacking match officials. And with Hangman out of the way, it didn't take too long for Swerve to finally become world champion. And just like that, once again, Hangman failed. And as Swerve continued to prosper, Hangman's sanity continued to crumble. And on July 3rd, 2024, Hangman finally returns, entering the Owen Cup for a chance at Swerve's championship at the main event match at All In. But unlike before, Hangman isn't just focusing his fire on Swerve. He was mercilessly mulling over everyone who stood in his way. Wrestlers like Jeff Jarrett and Jay White, who were also in the tournament, were caught in the crossfire of Hangman's revenge.
He broke into my home! He threatened my family! We have to leave! We have to leave our home! Do you understand what that's done to me? And he never paid for it! He never paid for it! And they loved him for it! They loved him for it! I gave them everything I had! It's been 5 years! I gave them every damn thing that I had! And they chose him! They chose him!
Actions have consequences. Hangman's hatred was completely justified. While he got suspended for his actions, Swerve, on the other hand, never had to pay for his crimes, and also in the end became world champion. So Hangman now believes that if he wants justice, he's going to have to take it himself. Unfortunately, Hangman's justice continued to be delayed, not once, but twice, as he lost to Bryan Danielson in the tournament finals, and lost again in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In. This left Hangman with one option left. During the main event match at All In, his rampage finally reached a turning point as he provides a distraction in the match, and ultimately cost Swerve the World Championship. When this war started, Swerve Strickland wanted to prove one thing. In Hangman's position, he would capitalize on opportunities and become world champion. And in that brief moment that Hangman was gone from suspension, Swerve proved that to be true, filling in the role Hangman left behind and quickly fulfilled his so-called destiny. But don't let that fool you of the fact that the unhinged Hangman, who is nothing but hell-bent in making sure Swerve pays for his crimes, is a monster of Swerve's own making. Just as Swerve would go to any length to get what he wants, Hangman was now ready to do the same.
I made a promise to myself, and no matter what I was going to do, what I was going to pursue in life, I was going to work my hardest. Whatever passion I was going to fall into, I was going to be the best at that. I was going to work my ass off. One day, become successful enough to buy back this property. As of last week, at All In Wembley Stadium in London, I signed my All Elite Wrestling contract extension. And with that bonus money, I gave it to one man that was trustworthy enough to make the magic happen. And here we are with the deed to the house. And I am now proud owner, the proud owner of this new home, my childhood home, that eventually my kids and my kids' kids will grow up in, have new memories just like I did as a kid.
How far will you go to settle the score? When will enough be enough? Those were the questions in this merciless war between Hangman and Swerve. Well, for Hangman, it isn't enough until he burns Swerve's world to the ground.
This Saturday, you will say goodbye to your health, your career, your joy, and your happiness. And tonight, Well, tonight you get a little practice. Because tonight, live in front of the world, you get to say goodbye to Swerve's house.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. Oh my God. Hangman Page is completely deranged. This is insane. Swerve's childhood home.
Turnaround is fair play, just as how Swerve broke into Hangman's home and threatened his infant child ahead of their Texas death match last year. Hangman finally returns the favor, breaking in and burning down Swerve's childhood home to ash just before their steel cage match. A wrestling match that wasn't really a wrestling match by anyone's standards. This was a brawl, a bloody, sadistic brawl. This never-ending escalating feud resulted in one of the most violent and disturbing fights to ever be broadcast on pay-per-view. There were no stakes, there were no sanctions, there were no prizes in the end. This match was purely personal for both men. It was 30 uninterrupted minutes of two men who hated each other to their guts, locked in a cage just to hurt each other. And in the end, Hangman finally got what he wanted when he laid out Swerve with a chair shot to the head. But even after Hangman was declared a winner, neither man came into this match to win. There were little to no attempts to pin each other or tap each other out. And quite frankly, no one did win this war. This match was mercifully ended by referee stoppage. And despite the hell both men went through, none of that mattered to Hangman, as he was the last man standing, raising his arm, finally claiming his justice. Remember the core theme Hangman was built around? Relatability. Throughout this entire war with Swerve, throughout his complete descent into madness, you can somehow still argue that Hangman is relatable.
This stuff that happened in the past, if you could just let it go, you could be not just the leader that AEW needs, but the man that you need to be. You don't tell me who I can be, and you don't tell me who I am. I know damn well who I am. And if what happened to me happened to you, you know you'd be the same way too. You know it. Any man would be.
Who wouldn't go to far lengths to protect their family? Who wouldn't try to seek justice against those who wronged them? These are all natural things to want, and despite the lengths Hangman went to get it, there's still a sense of understanding at how and why he went that far. Hangman's fall can really be summed up to the fact that no one came to help him when he needed it most. If anything, everyone only came out to stop him when he took matters into his own hands. But I think it's important to make it clear, I'm not advocating for anyone to commit any crimes against their enemies. Please don't go burning down other people's homes or breaking in and threatening families. Hangman was right to seek justice, yes. But he, just like Swerve, crossed the line just to get their point across. The biggest lesson that this feud could teach is that loneliness can bring people to the darkest places. Hangman is no stranger to demons. He's no stranger to being targeted either. But the biggest difference between then and now is that Hangman had people he relied on to save him from his darkest moments. Unlike now, Hangman has pushed everyone away and let himself be consumed by hatred and vengeance. But hey, in the end, Hangman did it. He got what he wanted. He got his revenge. He got his so-called justice. But at what cost? Because if you take a moment and step back, when you see all the things Hangman did and the lengths he took to get what he wanted, you'll start to see that in the end, Hangman became exactly like the man he swore to destroy. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stay tuned to the channel by liking and subscribing, because believe me, there are still more tapes to be rewinded.